Welcome, everyone, to ARTIVISM, the Power of Art for Social Transformation. Today, we have zooming in with us from Greece, Angeliki Kosta and Anastasia Samara. They will be presenting Creating an Inclusive Culture, the Value of Participatory Methods in Co-Designing Accessible Artifacts. Inclusive Lines act and innovate in Greece, specializing in participatory design and developing its tools. They create projects and workshops that enable participants with and without disabilities to work together on a common basis so as to come to decisions and plan together. Our speakers today, Dr. Anastasia Samara is an architect, a cultural manager, a facilitator, a researcher on creative industries, and the founder of Inclusive Lines. She has focused many years on her academic development by researching the human-centered aspect of architecture and the preservation of built heritage. Her research has been presented in conferences around Europe, and it was a part of an exhibition in the Frequency Festival. She lived and worked for many years abroad in the UK and Germany, but her love for contributing to the cultural sector of her hometown made her establish a professional base in Greece. Inclusive Lines is part of her latest contribution, in which she acts as a cultural manager and coordinator. The main goal of her work is to promote participatory design methods in heterogeneous teams in order to create a positive social impact. Welcome, Anastasia. Angeliki Kosta is a driven project manager with a background in culture with comprehensive experience leading varying complexity to successful conclusions. Angeliki holds a master's in cultural management and communications from AUTH, proficient in managing diverse and inclusive initiatives, experienced in close interactions with internal and external customers, users, and sponsors, has managed teams and dynamic knack to organize, manage, and complete projects on time and within budget, enjoys directing multiple priorities and creating innovative strategies to achieve exceeding objectives. Welcome.
Hello, thank you, Arji, for your generous presentation of Inclusive Lines team. And we would like also to thank the ARTIVISM team for giving us today the opportunity to present our work. This is really important for us because you also connect us with more people out there. So let's start our presentation with a small exercise. So I will ask you 2 questions, and it will be great to give me your answer with an emoji that will express your feeling. Of course, at any time, please feel free to join the conversation and make any remarks. So the first question is, have you ever thought about how your life would be in a city where the streets, the public buildings, and the cultural spaces are not accessible for you? Keep that on your mind, because I have a second question. And the second question is, how would you feel as a child in a city where most of the other children perceive you as a person with special needs and not as a child like them? So if it is possible, it will be nice to give me an emoji of how you would feel in a city like this, where people and childs are treated like this. I will give you 1 second to gather the answers. So, as we all can understand, and most of the emojis are sad and they are feeling weird or not so well emojis. And as you can understand, these are only 2 questions that give you a state of mind and life. We are sure that you can realize, all of you, how this person feels in all aspects of his or her life. So all these questions have been the main trigger for us, the Inclusive Lines, that has put us in a position to ask ourselves whether the culture of the city in which we live in operates inclusively for all the people and the children specifically. So let's find out the answer together. But in order to give you an answer, we have to give you the problem more clearly. So Greece is a country with a great cultural load, and I'm sure that all of you know, with Acropolis and Parthenon, etc. but unfortunately, it's not visible and accessible for all people, as people with disabilities in most cultural places and artifacts in Greece are excluded. As a result, when a person does not have access to something, then he or she cannot experience it, or feel it, or understand it, or touch it, and by extent cannot be part of it. Angeliki, sorry for the interruption. Is it okay with the share screen?
Yes, just give me a sec, please. I'll be back in the correct slide. Thank you.
So as I was saying, when a person cannot experience or feel the culture, is feeling excluded. So looking at this problematic cultural scene, we realize that the most powerful tool that can maybe slightly change the current situation is to make all these people visible and defining for themselves how a space or a cultural object can be made accessible. Therefore, the problem that inclusive lines put on the table is the lack of access and active participation of people with disabilities of all ages in culture, in cultural artifacts, and by extension in commons. So moving on, the aim of the inclusive lines is that by looking at this problem, we believe that a change can be brought by educating, inspiring people from an early stage of their life. That's why we mostly focus on young people, from an elementary to high school level. We believe that people at that age are vulnerable and in a continuous process of building their personality. So, in order to change our attitude and our education towards people with disabilities, it is better to start from an early age. So by giving all these children, through participatory processes, the opportunity to get closer to issues on disability. Our ultimate aim is all of us together as a united group, children with disabilities and without disabilities, to work together and with no discriminations to design cultural goods that will later help other children with disabilities to experience culture inclusively. In order to achieve our aim and to make it easy for a child to understand, we have allied different tools. So let's see how we do it. Every time before our workshops, we ask ourselves, what does a child need when he or she participates in an activity outside school? What will it take to give him something interested, but at the same time, learn something out of it? When we are talking about children, the first and the most obvious answer is through fun. So our workshops are fun through interactive games that we design, which are framed by a variety of materials, colors, shapes, songs, movements, and so on. So we use fun as a means that are easy to understand a child and at the same time familiar to all of the children, whether they have a disability or not. Another element is interaction. Interactivity is one of the most important axes to create our final cultural artifact. So what we are doing is that from the beginning to the end of our workshops, the children sit in groups or all together in a circle and act through open discussion. Our goal is the children to be heard equally and to interact with each other. We believe that interaction is one of the best ways for a child to learn and to understand what a person needs and to be more ready in order to create a new cultural artifact. Another element that we are using in our workshops is the human senses. What we are trying to make clear through this is that all humans have the same sensory organs, but in some people, these organs are not fully functional. And this is exactly how we perceive disability. We are all the same, but with a slightly change. That's also how we focus on the senses, because they are common, but at the same time, they make a person to have a different need. So sometimes feeling makes us more connected. But then the most important element for us is participation. Participation means that children, or else our participants, socialize with each other, share their interests, and at the same time are involved in decisions. Through participations, we try to create a safe place where participants can create, share, and connect with each other around a common theme. So in general, according to the current thinking, the participatory approach to culture is a means of empowering people to take control of the development of local culture. Of course, we cannot exclude the last element, which is most of the times really surprise us in our workshops because it's really intense, and this is creativity. Creativity means that the participants of our workshops contribute with their own ideas, objects, and creative expression to the project and to each other. It's worth mentioning here that in our workshops, we create a unique experience because every time we have new participants and we have new partners in order to create an outcome. So from now on, Angeliki will take the lead of the presentation, and she will present you a sample of our work in order to see more clear what we are doing through an example. Thank you very much.
So this is one of our projects, the bigger one for now. It's a book. It's called A Story for Everyone. And it's actually a fairy tale full of colors and emotions, starring a doll made from cloth and garbage and different materials that the kids put into the pictures. And this story encourages us to explore with unconditional imagination heroes who have a voice, texture, dreams, and like every human being on earth and in the world, they want to experience new feelings. So what makes this book special? It is actually the first hybrid book in Greek that combines Greek alphabet and Greek Braille alphabet on the same page, translating at the same time, which is unique, together with the pictures. At a quick glance, it is a book for children who are starting to read, so it's for a young age, and they can read it on their own. And if you get a closer look, you can see that the pictures, the colorful pictures, and the interesting text includes also the transcription of the story in Braille. The second unique feature of this book is that children with visual impairment can work together and with children without visual impairment. And this is also a question we had before the workshops, and it turned out that they can work together really well, express their feelings, and it was an absolute success. This project has proven that such cooperation helps to eliminate stereotypes and increase empathy and inclusion through the common experience, using imagination and creativity as main tools. Last but not least, the uniqueness of this book is also based on its texts and images. It was all made with hands-on experience from the kids participating and co-creating everything inside the book. Through these participatory design workshops, which were implemented by our team and our partners, we gave the opportunity to children to gain hands-on experience and taking the role and work as authors, illustrators, and bookbinders. So how was this book made? I mentioned workshops. There were actually 3 of them, and we had special partners working with us. The first workshop was about narration. So the children with and without visual disability worked together and put together the main characters of the story, how they're feeling, what was the storyline, and they decided all together how this story will start and end. In the second workshop, the story was put together by one of our partners with the exact ideas of the children. And in this workshop, the second workshop, we came all together to create the pictures. So the kids took different materials and created the doll and the bear and all the characters of the book. So they and even the children with visual impairments, they managed to create beautiful pictures, working together with the other children. With the ending result was pictures and images with texture. The third workshop was very special. It was about the book binding. So we had these crazy cats with us that introduced to all the children new techniques of how they could bind their own book. And the ending result was also bind with the same technique. So our motto in Inclusive Lines is inclusion everywhere. So also, apart from the book, we have created an inclusive festival for kids together with the kids. We have presented our work in other inclusive events. So now we are planning a photography workshop for children with and without visual impairment. So all these special experiences are new to our world, which is Greek ground for now. And actually, our participants enjoy them. This is one of their quotes, and we would like to read it because it's very special to us. It says, when a child without a disability reads this book and touches Braille, a new world opens up in front of them. To end this special presentation for us, we wanted to play a little game with you, if you're okay with this. Perfect. So you can grab a paper and pen if you want, or you can play just with your mind. It will be a few sounds. I will play a few sounds for you. And the first thing I want you to do is just keep in your mind a number. So it will be sound number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. The second step is that we will try to recognize the sounds. And in the final step, we will create together a small collective tune. So I will close screen sharing and I will try sound sharing. Let's see how this will go. Okay, so starting with the sounds, this is the first one. Did you hear the first one? The barking? Oops, I revealed it. Oh no, please ignore that. So let's start from the beginning. This is sound 1. You can keep it in your mind or write it on your paper. This is sound 2. Sound 3. Oops. And sound 4. Playing again. Sound 4. So does anyone want to have a guess about sound 1, though I revealed it already? Anastasia, you can play too.
Jim?
Someone was working.
Perfect. So let's have a guess for sound 2. It's a bit vague, but you can guess.
Xylophone? No.
Yes, exactly. You're right. Perfect. You found it. And now let's move to sound 3. Any musicians in the group?
There's guitar.
Yeah, it says guitar in on chat, yeah.
Perfect. And sound 4. C, they say, okay, it's lake, but we can take water for as a correct answer. So now we can try and create together a collective tune. I want to anyone who want to participate. It's not that everyone has to do so. I want you to put these sounds in a row that you decide it will work best. Like it could go 2, 4, 3, and 1. Another option is you can put one sound 2 times, like 1, 1, 4, and 2, 2, 3. I don't know, just saying. And I will follow your instructions, and then we will play the sound, the final sound. So it will be the row of one person and then the row of the second person. We will play it all together. Okay, so Anastasia, can you help me with the numbers that are written in the chat? Or
yes, of course.
Thank you.
We have one set of numbers. Let's wait. 1, 2, 4, and 3.
Okay,
1,
so this
2, 4, 3.
I had the same thing, and
same thing.
I had the same thing, but I'd be interested to hear from Nico later what his interpretation of that order was, in contrast to what mine was.
Yeah, I would be interested to know as well, because Nikos is a good partner of us, and he is a very creative guy.
True. And we have a second combination. It's 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because my keyboard stopped, my hay fever has infected the keyboards at work. Is it possible to ask you verbally than typing, or is that not allowed?
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Everything is allowed in inclusive lines team.
All disabilities, right? Great. Can we combine it parallel? So 2 and 4, or 3 and 4 in parallel. So it's like layered. So 4 is what?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah. So have 4 with 2 or 4 with 3. So it's almost like a polyphony of those 2.
Okay, just give me a second. So you want to compare 4 with 2 or with 3?
Yeah. Combine 4 with 3 simultaneously, let's say. So we play together, if that's possible.
Yep, I'll do my best as quick as possible. So I have to add one more thing here. And again, 4 with 3. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
And one more in the chat when you're ready.
Okay. So what is it?
It's
3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's more complex. Thank you for your patience. This is a hard work, and if we were in the same place, we would do it all together. We would everyone would play one instrument or something. It would be very nice. Next time we can arrange and ask participants to have something with them. So it would be more interesting. So I think we are almost ready. This is 2 and 1. So are you ready to hear the tune you made today in this presentation?
Yay.
Yay.
Let's start. And if we were together in the same place, we could continue and have a story about it and say like where the dog is going into the lake or and let our imagination going, because this it could be a common ground for any person, any child, any adult to create together and use senses. We could put smells on this song or other images and be creative together and with no discrimination, because this is all we want to achieve through our workshops. Anastasia, back to you.
Yes, so as Angeliki said, this is how mostly we worked together with a common ground in order to feel everyone be part of this, part of our workshops every time, and feel familiar with what they are listening, what they are touching or feeling. And we're trying to be creative and make through this work one step forward to accessibility, because we feel that it's really important for us to be forward and not backward in this field. Yeah, and I think that we're going well in Greece. I mean, we're walking this path, which is good, because the last year we were in even new words. I mean, we were. It was difficult for a person to describe another person with disabilities. We didn't know the vocabulary. We were at that position, but now we are going forward. So thank you very much once again for giving us this opportunity. It was really nice to be part of this big group and a small community that you are making, and we are looking forward to more collaborations with more people of this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anastasia and Angeliki, for being our artivist today. Before we move on to questions and maybe a little bit more of a discussion, I would like to just remind everyone that on Wednesday, April 19th, the day after tomorrow, we are having the kickoff to the Wearable Art for a Purpose fashion show. It will be live at Adelphi University at the Garden City campus in New York, but it will also be available to, our friends and family here in our network of Artivism around the world. What will be exhibited there and some other work will then go on to a multi-venue exhibition beginning at Adelphi University, moving on to the Offutt Gallery at Teachers College, Columbia University, the Center for Women of New York, and Teatro Gerba Bruja on Long Island, and I think Manhattan also. Next Monday, we will have Naisha Nair, Creative Participation Through Art as a Site for Pedagogical Transformation. You can follow us at Artivism for Shared Humanity on Instagram and on Facebook. If you want more information, you can visit the website at adelphi.edu/artivism. If you would like to present or ask any questions or get more involved, email us at artivism@adelphi.edu. I think we have one. Oh, yeah, Frosto says, thank you, Anastasia and Angeliki. And now we'll take it to any questions from our participants today. Do we have any questions? or comments? I will say very quickly that your 4 points, fun, interaction, senses, actually 5 points, participation and creativity could be applied at every level of education. It's almost, college level, you're afraid to say that a class was fun because then it's, right? And Stephanie's nodding. What you're learning should also be fun, exciting. And of interaction, right? Getting students to interact, to participate, to get to know each other. Now with the age of texting, it's almost if you tell them text, the students sitting in the front to the students sitting in the back, they're more comfortable doing that than actually interacting in the classroom, involving all of your senses, and of course, participation. And the key word here, the most important, is creativity. As we know, creativity is important to everyone, whether you're a scientist, a social worker, an artist. Creativity is the key. There are a few comments in the chat. Angeliki Kozma says, thank you, it was a pleasure. Samantha, thank you for sharing the activity and the book. My God, the book is amazing. It's amazing. I could just imagine, the students that are visually impaired to be able to sit in a circle, right, in this beautiful circle, reading together with students that can actually see the words. Yes, any other comments?
Again, can I talk, RJ, because of, what I think is, sorry, I'm a dying mouse of hay fever, but what is great with the girls' work is the idea that you mix the kids, the idea that impaired and non-impaired are together, because it's so important that for both sides that, everything is normal. Everybody's normal, whether you can hear or not. So to create a workshop that both parties are together, it's, I think, very quite difficult, but wonderful.
Thank you for your comment and nice words. This was our goal from the beginning, because we started only with to work only with people with disabilities, and we said that this will not lead us anywhere. We want to work with mixed groups, and when we in Greece, it's not that common. So when we introduce a new project, we usually hear that, okay, you're gonna have mix of disabilities, or people with or without impairments, and it's usually surprising, and we have to explain how this is going to work to other partners. But in the end, it's always created a unique experience for both kids and partners. And that's why we are aiming also to have an ending result like the book or a song or something else, so that we can keep this moment alive and not just to experience it through the workshops.
But yeah, also a small note from me is that it's really impressive that every time that we are collaborating with an institution that is not accessible, and this institution wants to make a step forward, as I said before, they cannot really believe how we will make this two different communities, because they are looking at this as different and not as a unite, and that's a problem every time. But we are trying to explain also to the institution that it's an easy process. It's not so difficult as you might think about it. And sometimes what we understand is that a lot of institutions in Greece, in cultural institutions, they are not making this step forward because they think that we will spend a lot of money, or we don't know how we will approach these people, and they have that kind of barriers, which this is how we, in what part we are coming in order to show them that it's not so difficult to accomplish it. It's not so difficult. They are people like us. I mean, in the end, it's yeah. So that was my note. So, and
I think that the preconceived ideas are not unique to Greece, right? These are issues that most people around the world think of, that programs like this will cost a lot of money. Maybe it's too sensitive an issue to address. It takes too much time and too much effort. I think starting with children is a great way to start, because when you expose them not just to being that young and being exposed to each other and involving other children with disabilities to be a part of, right, then spreads to other members in their family, their parents, then other members of their community. So this is where it starts, is from the young children, and then it'll just blossom elsewhere. And Jim, you have a question or a comment?
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
Jim, you want to go first, and we'll go back to Froso.
No, I'll be after whoever. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Hi. First of all, I just kind of wanted to say thank you so much for your presentation, and trying to and working to include everyone is such an important thing to me, because I remember, like, especially in my culture, I'm Haitian American, so I wasn't born here, and I grew up in a place where we didn't always have, like, funding, or like the ways to always buy things that we wanted or like needed. And I remember, like, when I was little, I used to, me and my siblings, we used to draw out like cartoons, and we cut them out and use those as dolls, and we would like play with those. And it was like always a very, like, it was like our own method of kind of like making toys for ourselves. So I know, like, the importance of art and kind of like childhood, and making you feel like you're part of the same group as other children that may have the same toys. And I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do. And it's very important that these kids not only feel like they're at home with one another, but also every other kid out there. And I just really wanted to say thank you for that, because I know how important that was in my childhood.
Thank you, MJ. Thank you for your nice words.
And Froso, yes.
Yeah. And guys, do you work with, because for example, if you have disabilities like if you're blind or if you're on a wheelchair, are you open to all possible disabilities, or because it's very difficult? Yes, different categories, or am I wrong?
Anastasia? Okay, I'll get it. Perfect. So we have started with visual impairment. We always work with professionals that are specialized in each disability. So we're not experts to everything, of course. We study a lot, we research a lot, we learn through experience, but we create the space that everyone can come in and work. We have worked mostly with visual impairment for now, but now our workshops are welcoming people also with hearing impairment, with other kind of, let's say, harder disabilities, which is harder, meaning it's not that people that cannot concentrate for too long or have other health issues that it's not that common to include them in this kind of workshops. And we are expanding, because in a perfect world we could work all together, and yeah, this could be one of our goals.
Any other questions or comments?
One small thing that I want to add in what Angeliki said is that we are also trying to combine people with different disabilities at the same time. So an upcoming project that we are really wishing that this will accomplish in the end, because we are in a process of taking some final signatures, let's say, from the institutions. is we are willing to do a workshop that has children with visual impairment and hearing impairment, and at the same time children with non-hearing impairment, but that they are children from families that they are the parents may have a hearing impairment, so they are bilingual, so they can understand at the same time. Yeah, the Greek and I don't know in English how we say that.
Greek sign language.
No, sign language, sorry, but we are doing everything in Greek, so my English vocabulary in this it's not so good. So yeah, we are also trying to do this bilingual thing, and something that not a lot of people recognize it, that people with hearing disabilities are not able to understand Greek language. And this is quite also important to spread out and to work with, work together. So
congratulations on all the work you do. You make a difference in so many lives. Anything else before we close up today? Okay, so what we do at ARTIVISM every week, we ask our presenters to give us a key takeaway. What is your key takeaway for today? Angeliki and then Anastasia, maybe?
It was a pleasure to be here, and I think I will take with me the feeling of creating this collective tune with you. I will have it, save it, and hear it. And thank you. This small but full of happiness and colors presentation, it was perfect for this day. Thank you.
Yeah, and I will also take with me that now we are part of a bigger community, and we are connected with the US, which was like a crazy dream of us to have students from out there. Yes, otherwise we couldn't reach them. So we are really wish that we can be helpful to all of your students someday, sometime, and of course we are open to any interaction visually, or if you can invite us at your university to be physically there, no problem at all. Yeah.
I have a question.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
A small trip.
Well, we hope to hear from you. You know, please stay connected. We will connect some of our students with you. Perhaps they can work virtually, or maybe they can take a trip to Greece. Thank you to Dr. Stephanie Lake, the director of the Criminal Justice Program in the Department of Sociology at Adelphi University, to Jennifer Govan from Gottesman Libraries Teachers College, Columbia University, to Camille Zamora and Monica Yunus, the founders of Sync for Hope and Adelphi University. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening on your part of the world and a great afternoon at our part of the world. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Reminder to check the ARTIVISM website to see upcoming events, and you can zoom in.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye.